We do have breaking news from overnight. The White House says President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for COVID-19. Here's a look back on those riots we're talking about that locked down the Capitol. The winter weather headed our way is on the minds of many. We'll get straight to it and check in with Jim, who's tracking it all. Jim, what impacts, if any, will people be waking up to? History was made in New Bern yesterday. Carolina East gave out the first vaccine in Eastern Carolina. I want to bring in the hospital's chief medical officer, Dr. Ron May. So first of all, how does it feel to have one day of distribution under your belt, and how are things looking? How are you feeling heading into today? 4 games all down to the wire between 8 teams with their eyes locked on the Super Bowl. Only 4, though, would come out on the other end. I'm rooting for the 49ers, though, since Tom Brady's out, Patriots are out. Gotta go with Jimmy G.
Team.
Our Derek Rush is on the scene of the search right now, gathering information. We're taking a live look at things getting underway as the sun comes up this morning. All right, Jim, so you are a horse. I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Do you?
But it has some good characteristics. It means you're high-spirited, active, and energetic. I think that is pretty suiting for you.
All right, what about you? What is you?
I'm a dog,
Okay.
which I'm happy about because I just love dogs, but loyal, compassionate, and honest.
I want to be Tiger. Can I be Tiger?
Okay,
Can
we'll
we
have to
switch that
change
up?
your birth year. We'll just lie about your age. We've heard this one from many of our viewers. Why does the group least affected by COVID need to be vaccinated? Right now, the CDC is recommending fully vaccinated people wait 5 to 7 days before getting tested if they have no symptoms. It's actually National Pizza Week, so we thought we'd have a little fun here at the studio and have another food making competition. We are all going to make our own pizzas.
So let's remind folks who won the last competition.
This girl right here.
Liz.
That was the gingerbread house competition. Liz actually blew Austin and I away. I'll say right now.
Are you guys going to redeem yourselves? 10 people were injured in that collapse. Jim, just incredible that there were no deaths reported. They are still investigating the cause, how this all happened, but something all that snow and ice you think could contribute to? Seems like some questions when the president contracted the virus, who else could be at risk? We know all of this news coming after one of his top aides, Hope Hicks, did test positive. Speaking of football, you see Tom Brady's in the playoffs? Welcome back, Jim. So as we just saw, you guys, Hannah is seeing some of that freezing rain, but really the bulk of the storm coming this afternoon. We're taking a live look now at the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. Overnight, reports of loud booms all around the city before the first sightings of explosions. Jim, you better watch out. Oh, you missed. This may be a familiar face. You may know him as the ECU Pirates' biggest fan or the world's best hugger. To others, he's a friend, a son, even a coworker.
Work hard today, okay?
Okay.
Drew has worked with us for 10 more or less years, and he's here 3 days a week. And when he's in the building, everything's happier.
Everybody.
Drew Steele was born with Down syndrome 35 years ago, but that doesn't mean he's disabled, just differently abled.
Drew basically shows no limitations.
Drew's been a staple to ECU sports. He runs through the tunnel with the Pirates, goes out on the basketball court to flex for the crowd. He was recently crowned the first ever North Carolina Best Buddies Champion of the Year for his efforts with the nonprofit. On top of all this, he works 3 jobs.
My job is to make sure he's busy. Put him to work. Have him doing chores in this area right here, as far as shredding paper, wiping down windows.
And he'll go up to the business desk. When he's up there, he's talking to everybody. Everybody's laughing and joking with him. When he's blowing up balloons, he's giving them out and so forth. And when patients are coming in, he'll just say, "Hey, how you doing?" Or one of the things he asks everybody is, "What'd you have for supper?" And so it's always fun.
Unfortunately, not every company considers hiring people like Drew. There are more than 1 million adults in North Carolina living with a disability, but less than half of them are employed, according to Governor Cooper's office. That's why organizations like ECVC are working to bridge that gap.
ECVC is 2 things. It is the largest employer of people with disabilities in our eastern region, and we also have a placement program that helps train and prepare people for community employment.
It's a step forward for those who are differently abled, an opportunity for those who might not always get one.
It's not about a disability category or a type. Each person with a disability is an individual, and they have individual skills and talents that are really the things to capitalize on. So focusing on that the abilities, the skills, the talent is really the biggest thing they can look at instead of the worries or the fears.
Take Drew's impact, for example.
Drew has made all of our staff and our patients realize and feel how happy somebody can be.
Just seeing Drew just brightened my day. I mean, he always have a smile on his face. He's always cheerful.
I think that, individuals just need to have an open mind and just realize that a person may have a disability, but they're like you or I. They want to work, be successful, be able to pay their bills. So pretty much just be willing to give individuals an opportunity.
Who knows? You might actually learn a thing or two.
If everybody could be as positive and as upbeat as Drew, we'd have a lot better world.
Nestled along the Roanoke River, just miles from the Albemarle Sound, Plymouth, North Carolina is not only the largest town in Washington County, it's home to the largest black bears in the world.
The average adult black bear is just 200 pounds. For us, a 500-pound bear is very common.
You heard that right. A 500-pound black bear could be roaming our own backyards.
Our black bears are the world's largest, and that's because they have access to high-protein crops, mild winters, so they're eating more days out of the year, and some of it is also genetics.
Jim and I had to see this for ourselves, but not without some reassurance first.
There is no need to fear them. Black bears have a prey mentality instead of a predator mentality, unlike the other bears. So their first instinct is to run away.
So we put on our brave faces and headed out to a Hyde County farm. I think you know what happens next.
They estimate the population of black bears in North Carolina to be 20,000. I think what's significant is the fact that black bears sightings in all 100 counties of the state. So it is expanding, and everybody has the opportunity to see one occasionally.
Or if you're like us, how many bears do we see?
Clicking them off, 16 different bear sightings in under 2 hours.
And considering it's not even peak viewing season, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, unbelievable experience right here in our own backyard.
It's this unique feature that people like Harrison are using to rebrand communities here in the East. Plymouth has since taken on the brand of Black Bear with everything from a water tower with a bear on it to police cars sporting bear logos and stores sticking to the bear theme in their name. But perhaps the biggest branding effort to date,
Bear Festival, I can't wait to see what those crazy people are doing this year.
the Black Bear Festival is celebrating its 5th year in just a few weeks. In its short history, it's won a number of awards, including Best Festival in the state.
Never happened to any festival to have that kind of success before, and yet we did it right here in this little community of Plymouth.
The festival features everything from airboat rides, a motorcycle stunt show, fireworks, and of course, black bear tours like the one Jim and I set out on. And if you're lucky enough to see one for yourself,
Don't run, don't fear, just stand there and enjoy the moment, because it'll soon be a memory.
a memory that's sure to put communities like Plymouth on the map for years to come.
It was just an ordinary day. She went to school, and every afternoon when she got out, she'd go in the parking lot and call me and let me know she was headed to her job, and she would always say, "Bye, Mom," or "I love you, I'll be home."
About 10 minutes later, that phone 18-year-old Sarah Edwards used to call her mother on would be the very same thing that ended her life.
A teenager is dead after a car crash involving a tractor-trailer.
We begin the news this morning with the tragic news of a fatal accident that claimed the life of an 18-year-old girl.
3:42, the text come in at 3:42. She went underneath that log truck, and that's just how quick it happens. My child's gone due to a stupid mistake. I mean, I'm gonna call it a stupid mistake. She looked at that message.
Unfortunately, Sarah's story isn't uncommon. In fact, the DMV says 9 Americans are killed every day on average in car accidents caused by distracted driving.
The average text takes about 5 seconds to send, which is about 5 seconds that someone's eyes are not on the roadway. In that time, at 55 miles per hour, that's like traveling the length of a football field.
It only takes one text message, one time looking away from the road,
for something bad to happen, and it's not like playing a movie. It's not like playing a video game. You can't start over.
We can't start over, but we can start to build change, which is what we've seen over the last decade nationwide. At least 46 states currently have laws in place that ban texting while driving, including here in North Carolina. Even major brands are taking a step. In Apple's iOS system, they now have a Do Not Disturb while driving feature. Here's how it works. When activated, your phone will stay silent and the screen will stay dark when you get a notification. If someone sends you a message, they'll receive an automatic reply letting them know that you're driving. But what local advocates are really pushing for is early conversation.
From the time that they turn their children around forward facing in car seats, their children are watching their every move behind the wheel. The time to start that conversation is not when they're 14 and a half and going through driver's ed, it's to start it much earlier.
Sarah would have been 25 today. A week before the accident, she was accepted into culinary school. Her mother says she was overjoyed to attend and likely would be running her own bakery right now if she hadn't been robbed of that next chapter in her life.
Yeah, that's her blowing out the candles on the cake, and that's everybody at the prom. And if you're picking up your phone while you're behind the wheel, think about Sarah. Think about if you killed someone, could you live with yourself? Think about all the lives you would destroy.